Oh, welcome, welcome. It is Monday night, so it is our team Zoom. Good to see everyone. Everybody make a funny face. Okay. Good to see you all. Hope everyone's having had an amazing week and had an amazing weekend. And we will start off with some wins and some gratitudes. Anybody? Wins, gratitudes, Vinny.
Mine is more of a shout out than a gratitude. I just read on Isogenics Business, Chris Harder posted it. Our good friend Zach and Eden Slobin, I'm sure all of you guys know them or have heard of them in one form or another. Well, the UK just opened up on the 15th, and Zach and Eden in advance basically built a team, a whole bolt, while everybody else was trying to figure out if they knew somebody in the UK. They actually built the team. And this week, Zach and Eden just went from 5-star to 8-star in 1 week. And on their team in the UK, they have 1 4-star, 1 3-star, 2 2-stars, 1 1-star, and a whole bunch of consultants and managers. And all those stars are all Crystal exec.
Nice.
So it just shows the momentum. The momentum that can happen on any team. Anybody can do it. Zach and Eden aren't special. Zach will tell you himself he's not a special guy.
They aren't special at all.
I'm just saying, he's a poker player. I mean, he was a poker player. So, it's not like he had a super duper amount of network marketing experience. He was a poker player. So, I mean,
awesome.
I'm just saying, I like to give them a shout out, and a shout out to everybody who's building a team in the UK, because it's probably a tougher market for us because we live in the United States, and Americans aren't very well looked at right now in the world, and to see what they've done with that team is just amazing to me. So
awesome. That's awesome. Shout outs to Zach and Eden. We love them. So I think everybody watches Zach's little videos and loves him a bit. Yeah. So we all know them. Anybody else? Thanks, Vinny. Gratitude, celebrations, shout outs. Anna? No.
I have, it's completely not related to Isogenics, but I closed on my house on Friday, which
Yay!
huge weight off my shoulders. And I do have a gratitude for Miss JoJo, because she is flying her butt out here to Virginia, and going to be in 2 different cities with me, helping me build. So I appreciate JoJo. Yay.
Thank you. You are
and
welcome.
Vinny, thank you for letting me have her for a couple days.
Congratulations on the house, too. I can't wait to see it. Thank you. Anybody else? Congratulations, celebrations, Rafael.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Tracy that's on here tonight. She drove all the way down from northern Utah to be at the Go Exec Go retreats that we had here in St. George this last weekend with Jill Berth, Tammy Hess, Dave and Carrie MacArthur, Mary Evans, Liddy Flum. I mean, just 2 days of amazingness. It was so much fun. So Tracy, congratulations for making that effort to come down. It was so good to see you and give you a hug and be there with you and everybody that was there. It was an awesome event, and so it was a lot of fun. So many good nuggets there.
Thank you. So Tracy, since he put you on the spot, can we kind of ask you for just a takeaway from the weekend and how it was to be at the event?
It was actually overwhelming a little bit, but I had a wonderful time, and I decided that I need accountability partner, and Chelsea's going to be my accountability partner, because I just struggled these last few weeks with quite a bit of stress. And Mary Evans did tell me that in 1 month she wanted to hear how well I was doing. So
there's accountability for you.
So today I'm starting fresh. So
good for you. Congratulations. Yay. And Chelsea will be a great accountability partner.
Yes.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, we look forward to hearing about the 30-day results. So we'll check back in a month and do this again. Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, ready to rock and roll? All right, let's do this thing. So, there's this kind of underlying thing in the company that a lot of times we overlook, or we accidentally ignore, or we choose to look past. But it's one of the things that is, it's really the key, most important thing for us to do to keep our company safe. And that is to follow compliance, make sure we know our policies and procedures, be building your business ethically. There's all these little pieces and components to this for us to keep our company safe, because we don't ever want to wake up tomorrow and have them not have a company here because somebody went out and said that they could cure cancer. So we want to make sure that what we're saying, what we're doing, how we're acting falls in line with compliance. And so we thought that we would have a conversation about this tonight. And so me and Rafael were talking a little bit about it. And so it was his idea. Maybe we should just throw it out on the call and do a Zoom about it. And so we are just going to kind of tag team a little bit, and anything that you guys want to throw in and talk about or ask questions about, please do. But Rafael, thanks for the idea of doing this. Great idea. And I'm just going to toss it over to you and let you get started and talk about whatever you feel compliancy you want to talk about.
Okay, awesome. And then we can use the chat in the Zoom, which is kind of a good way to communicate while, this is all going on.
Great. Thank you.
So, I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so I don't know if it's okay. It's all gone. Okay, perfect. So I wanted to just thank JoJo and Vinny for this opportunity to come on tonight and just share some information about compliance. And I want to thank them for all that they do for our team. None of us would be here had it not been for them. And so just huge gratitude to you guys. I know you guys work super hard you have thousands and thousands of people on your team, and you are always there for every single one of us. So thank you, and thank you again for this opportunity. And so what I wanted to start with tonight with compliance is why compliance? Like, why does Isagenix make such a big deal about compliance? And the first thing that came to mind is that Isagenix is doing network marketing right. Other companies are looking at Isagenix and seeing what we're doing, because we're doing it completely different than what most network marketing companies are doing out there. Chelsea and I, we've experienced working with 3 other network marketing companies before, and none of those companies ever made an emphasis on building the business the right way, being compliant, watching what we say, watching what we post. It was just go out there and get more people in, go out there and get more people in. It doesn't matter what you have to do to get more people in, go out there and get more people in. We even were with the company, and this is how I got started in that company, where a friend invited me to lunch. And I was like, all right, they're taking me out to lunch. And I got to lunch, and it was a meeting. And we were like, all of the guests there were like super uncomfortable because we couldn't even talk to the person that invited us. Yeah, they bought us lunch, but it was a meeting with the whiteboard. It was just super, super shady. And they were like, all you have to do is invite people to lunch. And like, that's just, what they were teaching, and that's how they were trying to duplicate. And that company is not even in business anymore. So I'm so grateful for Isagenix. And like Dave says, Dave MacArthur, I also believe that Isagenix is a divinely inspired company that Jim and Kathy and John and Eric and PETA and just all of the people at corporate, they're doing Isagenix right. So why do they focus on compliance? Because this is a legacy company. And I want Isagenix to be there for my kids and for my grandkids. I want them to have these amazing products that are only going to get better. Can you imagine Isagenix in 10 years? Guys, that's going to be so exciting. We're all going to be like super people. And so I want that for my kids. And my kids are growing up with Isagenix. They're seeing what we do. They're seeing the culture of Isagenix. Our oldest wants to go to Celebration with us. It's just, We want Isagenix to be here for generations and generations to come. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we protect our company, if we protect Isagenix. Because guys, at corporate, they're doing everything they can to protect us. I can promise you that. And JoJo and Vinny, they know more than all of us. Then they know that Isagenix is doing everything they can to protect us. How do we know that? The Customer First program started in March. Guys, this is something that no other company is doing. It's all customer focused. Everybody joins Isagenix as a customer. That is huge. That is so huge. And so just seeing these changes that Isagenix has been doing, and this Customer First program, guys, it's been 2 years in the making. Ever since, all of the stuff that happened 2 years ago and network marketing, I believe that's when they decided, hey, we need to make a change and make sure we do this right. So if you've had some frustrations with the enrollment process, with the website and all of that, that's understandable, but just know it's going to benefit us in the long term. So it's a huge blessing. We can go through some of these little changes now, but it's going to protect our company. So Customer First is another indication of how Isagenix is focused on compliance. And so a couple of things that I wanted to share with compliance, just some tips to remind us. I mean, a lot of us have heard these, but maybe you haven't. But just some things that if we continue to do it right, we're going to be great. We're going to continue to help more people. But just with our posting on social media, Instagram, Facebook, a lot of people are starting to use LinkedIn. Pinterest, I learned today, is more of a search engine. It's not social media. So that was really cool. So there's all the Snapchat. I mean, there's all these social media venues that we can use. And one of the biggest things that we want to make sure of is that we're not posting a before and after picture and explaining the amount of time that it took for them to lose a specific amount of weight. So in other words, we can't say, I'm so happy for Jennifer, she lost 100 pounds in 10 months. Okay, we can't say that. We can say, I'm so happy for Jennifer, she lost 100 pounds, and that's it. Or I'm so happy for Jennifer, these were her 10-month results, and that's it. We can't do both. And it's just because everybody's going to have a completely different experience. So if we say both, that's like Isagenix saying everybody that wants to lose 100 pounds is going to lose it in 10 months. Or everybody that uses Isagenix for 10 months is going to lose 100 pounds. So we just don't make those claims. And so just make sure, just leave one or the other out. We like to use the time frame because I believe it's more powerful. We don't use the amount of weight, because really that's not what's important. It's not the amount of weight that we lose. It's the life that we're gaining with Isagenix. And so make sure that you're not doing both in your posts. Income disclosures, if somebody earned, like I see a lot of these 6- and 7-figure earners recently, just in the last couple of months, disclose income amounts, but they always put an asterisk beside what was made, and they always put an income disclosure in the post, not in the comments, not anywhere else. And that's just so that people know that these results aren't typical. Somebody earning 33 grand from a leadership pool is not typical. Okay, it all depends on the work, the time, their demographics, all of that. And really, you don't need to put an income amount, but if you do, just make sure you always include the income disclosure. You could even do Isagenix, IsagenixIncome.com, I think is what it is, where people can just click on the link and go to the income disclosure that Isagenix has. But just be really careful with that. Never share your checks on social media. We're not supposed to do that. So if you have your email and it says, congratulations, you earned this much for this week, we can't share that because it's called enticement in network marketing. And so just keep those to yourself. Just say, hey, I had the best week ever, or, I'm doing so much better now than when I was working full time somewhere. I mean, just keep it simple. And it just helps people understand that not everybody's going to earn this much every week or whatever. Yes, you can share the email and hide the amounts. That's totally fine. We did that when we got our $1 million bonus in January or February, whenever we got it. We shared the screenshot of the email congratulating us, but we just, took out the amount just so that we were talking in the post more about just the experience and the opportunity, not the amount that we got. So So yeah, just keep it simple, guys, and we don't have to over exaggerate with the things that, the $1 million challenge bonus. I don't know what I said. So I thought I said $1 million bonus. No medical terms with our post. So be super careful about saying blood work, or, I mean, you can say blood work, but you really don't even have to say blood work. Just say your doctor was monitoring you while you were using Isogenics, and he was so happy with your progress. You know, you don't have to share your triglycerides difference and your oxygen levels and all of that. Just leave it out. Just keep it simple. If people are having to click see more on your post, they're probably too long. You want to keep them as short as possible, to the point, and just keep them simple. You can't say, I got off meds, I'm not using this medication anymore. That's probably the biggest thing that the FTC is looking for, is which company is out there making claims on income and making claims on health conditions, especially in our industry. Who's out there saying, my cancer is so much better, or my diabetes is better. We could say, hey, I used to check my blood sugars, and I still do, but I'm feeling so much better now. I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I mean, just a simple way to say it, where we're not just flat out saying, I don't have this anymore, or whatnot. And I know that corporate really focuses on talking about symptoms instead of conditions. Like, man, I used to be tired and now I'm not. Just keep it simple, but we need to just stop posting or saying any type of medical condition or medication or anything. We don't have to put that in there. We can completely word it. And I honestly believe that the post could be even more powerful if we don't use a certain condition or ailment. So just wanted to talk about that, about post. Another thing about compliance, this was really brought to light when Peta Kelly just let us have it for Black Friday a couple years ago. She posted in the Isogenics business group. She said, what is everybody doing with these Black Friday promotions? And she's like, we cannot offer a promotion that Isogenics is not offering. So what does that mean? What that means is, I can't go and post, hey, next person that gets started is going to get a $50 Visa card from me. Okay. I can't do that because not everybody is able to offer a $50 Visa card to get their person started. Isogenics is not offering that deal. Okay. If Isogenics is doing a free enrollment week, I can go on my post and say, hey, everybody that gets started this week gets a free wholesale membership. That's fine, because everybody in the company, or in the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, they also get a free membership. Okay. But we cannot be offering services or incentives that Isogenics is not offering to get somebody into the business, into our team, to order product. It's non-compliant. So if you have a service, so let's say I'm a coach and I can't go out and say, hey, if you get started on a 30-day system, I'll give you a free coaching session on the side. I can't do that. And so just make sure that when we are going out there and we're doing all of these challenges and all of these things that are just lighting up on Facebook, which is great, just make sure we're not offering something that everybody else is not able to offer. I know back in the day, 2 or 3 years ago, people were really big on offering their product introductory bonuses to people. And that's non-compliant. That's non-compliant. You can't say, hey, if you get started, I'll give you my $25 PIB, or I'll give you my $50 PIB. That's non-compliant, because not everybody is able to just fork over their PIBs to everybody that enrolls. So just know that you don't have to slide something in just for somebody to get started. Like Zach did a perfect video. Can we offer to coach them in a one-on-one conversation after they have started? Yeah, like, you're going to coach them as their enrolling sponsor. So yeah, our posts always say, unlimited one-on-one support and team support and all of that. That's part of being an enrolling sponsor and getting them started. But like an extra service. So say you're an accountant. You can't say, hey, I'll do your 2017 taxes if you get started on a President's Pack. Okay, you can't offer something that not everybody else can offer. As far as coaching them when they get started, yeah, everybody should be coaching their people when they get started. Okay, so this is just something that's extra, that's not available for everybody. They just want to keep the playing field level. And guys, there's network marketing companies that people are just out there just throwing whatever they can out there to get somebody started, and it's not worth it. So just know that it's not compliant. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just our story. Our 30-second story, before Isagenix, now that I'm using Isagenix, and now this is what I'm looking forward to. Just keep it true, keep it simple. Again, you don't have to talk about ailments or medical conditions. Share your before and after pictures and everything, but just keep your story compliant so that somebody doesn't expect, this total transformation at the exact same time that you did and everything. And just have fun with this. If we're not having fun, we're doing it wrong, but we want to make sure we're doing it right. And compliance is so important so that our businesses, we can will them to our kids, we can will them to our grandkids. Isagenix is here for generations to come. And if you want to learn more about compliance, go to isagenixbusiness.com. You can also email compliance directly and ask them, hey, is this a post that I can do? And just go to compliance@isagenixcorp.com. So let's all continue to be compliant. Let's have fun. Let's help as many people as possible. Everybody just wants to hear the truth. They want to hear what we have to offer. And everything that Isagenix has provided is enough. It's enough to get somebody started. We don't have to create and reinvent the wheel to try to entice somebody to get started with us. So that's just a little bit about compliance. I know all of you guys have some input on that. So maybe when JoJo posts the recording in the group, we can talk about it in the comments and stuff. But that's all I wanted to share tonight. Thanks for the time, JoJo. And let's just keep being compliant. It's sexy. Compliance is sexy in Isagenix.
It is awesome. Thank you. Anybody learn something new just from what he said? It's good to remember, even if you knew it, it's good to get a refresher, and that in the long run, it keeps the company safe. Really, in the short run, it keeps our business safe. And there's lots of things, and I don't know if you guys realize this, because we just enroll and click, yes, I agree to policies and procedures, but how many of us read them? How many of us go in and actually look at the all of the breakdowns? And I just kind of have, I don't know that I'm going to be able to see them. Hang on, if I can get them up here. But I have 50 million windows open. Hang on a second. But in the back office, so all I did was Google Isagenix compliance. And actually I Googled compliance Isagenix, and I got more information than I really, it was overwhelming how much I got, because I got not only what happens, when you want to offer a discount and a promotion, what happens when you want to sell products from another company, what happens when you get caught cross-recruiting. All this really interesting information came up. So let's just know that if you want to know something, or you want to go, can I post this on Facebook? Isagenix compliance, it's all there. All you got to do is go in there and read. And if you're really not sure, then I would email them and double check, because, and here's just an interesting thing. What was it, 2 months ago or 3 months ago? I got an email from compliance that said, we found this post on your page. Please remove it immediately, or blah, blah. It was this big one. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I post that was so non-compliant? And I looked at it, and I swear it was from like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, they went back through my Facebook page and found my shout out to Dave MacArthur when he hit the 7-figure club. And it was, I think that's what it was. Whatever it was, I like gave a number and, you know, every dollar he's earned, whatever. It was a really cool post, but it actually said an amount. And so I removed it immediately and messaged him back. And they said, we are going through anytime we know that there's an Isagenix person, they're going through your entire Facebook and all of your posts because they want it off or they want it disclaimered. And obviously we weren't doing disclaimers then, so I didn't really have it. And so just as an idea of how far they're going back to take a look. But, you know, that recently it came to me, can I promote another business? So I want to do XYZ product also, or, you know, I want to sell water machines or, you know, whatever the thing is that is. So first of all, can you do something else? Yes, you can. Do I recommend that you do something else? I will just say this. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. But in saying that, if you want to promote another company, you totally can do that. What you want to be careful of is that you cannot promote to any Isagenix people. If it seems in any way that you are trying to pull in people from another team or people from your team into this new thing, they will get you with compliance. So, Vinny?
One note on that JoJo said, yes, you can. You can do it. Our policies and procedures say you can. But keep in mind, when they talk about cross-recruiting from Isagenix people, if you promote Isagenix on your Facebook page and you promote, you know, Kagan water machines is another network, whatever on your Facebook, you are promoting to Isagenix people. So you cannot promote both on your Facebook page. Any social media is considered promoting.
Perfect. Thank you. So anybody who's had that question come up, you know the answer, and there's a full explanation of why, when, how to deal with that. And there are situations where somebody was in another company before they came here and they're still doing that. There's also different rules for those people. So there's different things based on different scenarios. So make sure that you're looking for them. Also, did you know that you cannot have a YouTube page and take an Isagenix made video and put it on your YouTube page? Did you know that? That is non-compliant. That Isagenix has its own YouTube page. You can refer to that YouTube page, but you cannot take one of their privately corporate made videos and put it on your personal YouTube page. So be careful, because that's something I just learned. I didn't know that. So marketing, know that if you're going to have a website, do a blog, be really careful, because a blog is considered advice. Even though it's opinion, a blog is considered advice. And so if you're saying Isagenix or you're giving any opinion in there that could be considered medical, be really careful with that. Also, you can't have like isagenix.com, you know, or I couldn't have JoJoIsagenix.com. That would be a non-compliant URL, because I am not Isagenix. So if you guys ever have a question before you spend money on a domain name, before you put something out there, please send it into Isagenix compliance and make sure. And I know that we have several people who've done their own personal website and have been asked to remove things. And they will shut down your back office. They will shut you down until you comply. So I know that this has happened to people. So don't let it happen to you. But let's talk a little bit about the really icky part of some things that can happen. Is that there's one term that we hate. It's kind of a icky term, but it's called poaching. And so let's say, and there's a lot of different ways that you can poach from somebody, or somebody can poach from you. So here's an instance of what happened to me. So I meet this guy. been chatting with him for, I don't know, 3 years. It was a really long time. So I just decided I go, look, this was before we had our own personal prospect pages. I added him to Isagenix accountability and said, I just want you to take a look at what's happening in here. Well, I put him in there, kept in contact with him, and then one day I opened up Facebook and here's his post. He's got his Isagenix. And I said, what the heck? Well, someone else poached him off that page. Okay. So is that okay in any way, shape, or form? So as a one team concept, they should have said whoever added you to the page is who you need to go back to, right? That is not what happened. So that would be one way that could happen. So let's say I make a post and I go, blah, 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 here's the before and after of my friends, check them out. And I get 50 comments on that post. And all these people are like, wow, what is it? I want in, blah, blah, like all the comments that people get. Let's say Rafael comes along and goes, hey, look at all those comments JoJo got. I'm going to go message those people. So he goes behind the scenes and private messages all those 50 people and says, I can help you get started. I can help you get started. I can help you get started. Join our team. It would be better than being on her team, right? So you see how that could be no bueno, right? So would that be okay, right? Not in any way, shape, or form would that be okay. But we do know that it happens. And so be really careful that you're not doing that. And if anybody does that to you, that is non-compliant, you guys. Compliance steps in and takes over in situations like that. So let's say, let me give you another example. So I have, and this is more of an ethics question than it is a compliance question, but I have a guy on my team. So he's been in my team for 9 years, 8 years, really long time. So one of my cross-line team members comes along and enrolls his live-in girlfriend. Now, they're not on the same team. He's been on my team. So instead of saying, you got to go back and enroll with your boyfriend, or you need to go back and enroll on JoJo's team, or you need to be connected, now I have a boyfriend and a girlfriend in the same house on completely opposite teams, pulling out of the same pool of people. How is that ever beneficial for them? All that person did was think about getting that enrollment on their team. It had nothing to do with what was going to be best for this boyfriend and girlfriend, which would be to work together, which would be to build together, right? Not okay. But it totally happened. And when I confronted it, they went, blew it off like it was okay. Well, that's, it's the way it goes. She made her choice. So in the end, right, it really wasn't okay. And he's been around for 9 years, so I don't see him leaving. But if they were newer people, they would get so frustrated. They would be fighting. They'd either end up broken up or they'd end up leaving the company because it's too hard to work in an environment like that. Can you guys see how that would be difficult? So none of that is okay. And every single bit of that is a compliance issue. I had somebody reach out on Isagenix Business and say, hey, I live in blah, blah, blah city. Is there anybody who's in blah, blah, blah city that would like to combine with me and do some meetings? I don't have any team there, whatever, right? So this girl reaches out on a private message and says, I would totally love to work with you, but I will not work with you while you are on her team. I will only work with you if you leave her team and come to my team. And this girl said, my brother enrolled me. Well, is your brother doing the business? Well, like trying to poach her from her brother, right? So none of this stuff is okay. We had to, I had this whole long message thing I had to report to compliance, and don't think that I don't do it, because I totally do. You know why? Because that stops them from doing it to someone else. Because if they get away with it there, they're just going to go repeat that same behavior somewhere else. So we don't want to see that happen. I don't ever want anybody to get in trouble, but I want to protect the people that are here working their butts off. So none of that is fair. There's no way, shape, or form where there's how many people in this world? We do not have to steal people from each other. We have less than, the 5% of the population of Arizona, like total in this company. There's enough people out there for every single one of us to build an amazing business. Ben?
To add to what JoJo's saying, what she's saying is literally in our policies and procedures. If you guys just, I'm sure nobody has a copy of policies and procedures. It's not something people keep around. I know this. We have it, but your normal person doesn't have them around. But just Google Isogenics policies and procedures. I mean, literally, page 1, section 1 is called the Code of Ethics. These things are in there. I'll just read just a couple bullet points in it. As an Isogenics independent associate, I will conduct myself and my business in a professional, ethical, moral, and legal manner, always being respectful of each other and everybody I meet. Another one, I will not, as an Isogenics associate, engage in any activity that would reflect poorly on me or Isogenics, including but not limited to any deceptive, misrepresentative, unlawful or unethical business or recruiting practices. Another bullet point, I will not entice or encourage any existing member to join my team from another team under any circumstance.
Okay, so let's talk about that one for a second, okay? So let's say I'm on Facebook, blah, 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 and I get bling, message pops up. Hi, you don't know me. I'm on blah, blah, blah's team. I'm not happy there. I'm not getting support. Can I leave that team and come join you and work with you? What should I say to that? Somebody? Anybody?
Have you spoken with your upline?
Have you spoken with your upline?
Or the person that enrolled you, or if you're uncomfortable speaking with them, to the next person.
What else could I say? What else could I say to that person? Charles?
You could tell them to contact the company and they will find the next available person who is building a business for them to work with.
Right. Perfect. That's what Jennifer Page just said on the chat too. Thank you.
I always allow them to know the ramifications that could happen, even though we're not going to do it because it's ethically not right. The ramifications is, all right, you have this spot in a tree. Well, you have a bunch of people underneath of you. If you move, you kind of screw up the whole thing. I mean, why would you want to do that? I always explain to them and the people that enrolled you, maybe they're not quite making or doing the business like you like them to do, and things like that. But you're there for a reason. You're in the tree. Just stay where you're at. You can build a business. I mean, more than likely, those people that complain have a bunch of people underneath of them. They just don't feel the support from their upline that enrolled them. So I just tell them, stick with it. We'll find it. We've even gone and helped people. We're actually right now in the middle of helping people on other teams that are not financially connected to us at all.
So that's what I was going to say. One thing that we could say is, I will be glad to help you where you're at. I will be glad to help you find out who your upline is. And if your upline isn't helping you, I'll help you find out who's above them. Because I guarantee you there's someone in that team that will help. It just hasn't been looked at far enough. I have actually gone through, I cannot tell you how many times I've had that conversation, and they say in the end, I don't care, I still want to leave. If they choose to resign their position, I've had people resign their position, wait out the 6 months, and enroll in my tree, and I didn't even know they did any of it until they were enrolled. Do I have a choice then? Can I say, no, don't do that? Because in the end, it's their choice, right? But I did every possible thing that I could do to get them to stay where they were. So I didn't, in the end, it was their choice, and I had to feel okay with that because they made their own decision, and I did everything that was ethical prior to that. So this is the deal. If this happens to you guys, we got to talk about it because it's not okay. And either we need to go and address the person that's doing it, or we need to talk to corporate and talk to compliance and get it handled. Because I guarantee you, if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to somebody else. It is not okay. So I can't imagine any of you guys would do any of those things. So, we want to make sure that we are also protecting ourselves too, and not just thinking that we have to put up with something like that, because we don't.
And if they're doing it to you, most likely they've done it before and they've gotten away with it. And if you don't report it or you don't say anything, they're going to continue to get away with it. So I know it sucks. You don't want to be a little snitch that runs to the principal, runs the daddy. But in these cases, this is our business. This is our legacy. This is our company. I don't want to give that up, and I'm sure you don't either. If they're doing unethical business practices, that reflects on us, and it can be taken to court, and they can go after the company for it.
So, thank you, baby. It's one of the reasons that after that we started our own prospect page, because if somebody gets poached out of there, I can deal with that. I can't deal with it as easy when it's on Isobody or Isagenix accountability, because that's the entire company. So we made it smaller to help protect that. So that was one of the main reasons, outside of the fact that we love having our own little community that we can, make sure that we have at least a little inkling of control over. So, Rolf, did you want to say something?
Yeah, and I think it just goes back to the golden rule. If you don't want something done to you, don't do it to somebody else, because I could 100% guarantee that, if I were to go and entice somebody to come on my team, I would have a really hard time with somebody doing that to me. And so, it's just, I think sometimes we allow ourselves to adjust our focus and to look at a PIB, look at a promotion, look at some extra income, and that overshadows doing it right and being ethical and treating somebody like we would want to be treated. And so just always remember that if you're about to do something, you're going to feel if you're doing something right and you're not. And if you get that it's called an instinct. If you get the instinct that, maybe you shouldn't do this, don't do it. Or call Isagenix and ask if you should do it, and you'll get a flat out answer. But also just know that all the energy we send out is the energy we're going to get back. And so that's just law. There's nothing you can do about it. So if you send out amazing love and energy and you do it right, you're going to get that back. If you do things that you shouldn't do, you're going to get that back to you in some other way. And so just have fun with Isagenix and build it the right way, and be able to lay your head down on the pillow every night and look at yourself in the mirror every night saying, hey, I did it right. And I'm the only one. I'm the only person that I can control, and I'm going to do this right. And I know that there's an abundance of people out there. It still stings. It still stings when it happens, but the less energy we put into it, the less, just get it taken care of and move forward and just continue to spread more love. But it's just the golden rule. Don't do something to somebody that you wouldn't want done to you. And if we can just always remember that, then we're all going to be good. So
absolutely. I totally agree with you. And we also want to remember that we are helping people. It does not help somebody to separate them from the person that they're living with. How does that help anybody? Might help you because you enrolled them for a minute for a PIB, but in the long term is not beneficial. So we want to do things that are going to be the best thing we can for those people. That's what we say we do. So let's do that. Right?
When you don't do that, it's like living in the law of scarcity, right?
For sure.
Building
absolutely
your business and your foundation on very, very rocky grounds, and so it eventually will come crumbling down. And karma is an ugly lady when she rears that head. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. So just build your business with truth and integrity. And there's no, like JoJo said, there's millions of people that are not involved with Isagenix that you can share with. And so just know that the people who are out there looking for you will find you. There's no need to steal from anybody else, because that person's not gonna. It's like, what do they say? Taking poison, expecting the other person to die. It's not the way we build. So.
My thoughts are, I think most people are inherently good. They're not out there trying to do anything bad to anybody, but there are certain dilemmas where they're like, well, they start thinking about a PIB or things like that. all I can say on this matter is read the policies and procedures, especially the code of ethics, which is part 1.1 and 1.2. All those things are spelled out. I mean, unless you don't know what reading comprehension is, there's no way you can misinterpret what they're saying. They basically tell you, you do not do this, or we're going to take your business from you. It's not worth it. And it's really not worth having the karma that goes with it. But as
It's
I said,
not worth losing your business over.
and some people, as I said, they may not know they're doing anything wrong technically, but you have to know you're doing something ethically wrong just by doing something like that. I mean, you have to think, would I want somebody doing that to me? Would I want somebody, quote unquote, stealing my person I just worked on for 6 months because they're going to get a $25 PIB? That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Rolf, did you have something to add in?
I was just going to say, Isogenics always makes it right. And just 30 seconds, Chelsea and I, we met somebody in Florida on Facebook. We gave them all the information. We actually enrolled them. A few days later, she found out that her friend was using Isogenics, and so she wanted to go to her friend. So Isogenics calls us and says, hey, this girl wants to go to her friend's team. And we said, well, we gave her all the information. Like, we worked with her from zero to getting started, and she, didn't say anything about her friend or anything. And then she did tell Isogenics that we were the ones to get her started, and that she just found out afterwards that her friend was using it. And so she wanted to go with her friend. So Isogenics said, hey, this is up to you and Chelsea, what you guys want to do. Do you want to keep her on your team, or do you want to give her to her friend? Because it's really your decision, because you are the one that got her started. So Isogenics knew what was right, but we wanted what was best for her, and she really wanted to be with her friend. So we said, you know what? Let's have her go with her friend. And so they took our PIB away, but they gave us a $50 product credit. And that's how Isogenics is. That is who Isogenics is. That is the company that we are so blessed to be with. Is they knew what was right, but because we did what was right for the customer, they rewarded us. And we weren't asking for anything. We weren't expecting anything. We just said, that's fine. It's not a big deal. We want her to have a good experience. And if she wants to really do this with her friend, then that's probably going to be better than us, trying to, have her have a good experience with us when all she's thinking about is, well, she could have done this with her friends. So do what's right for your customers, do what's right for your team, do what's right for Isogenics, but more importantly, guys, do what's right for you. Just having that conscious that you don't have to worry about if somebody's going to find out, or if somebody's going to, say something behind my back. If we're doing it right, we will never, ever have to have that anxiety or that stress. Have fun, do it right, go out and just help as many people as possible. There's enough for all of us to be multi-millionaires with Isogenics. So I'm just grateful that we talked about this tonight, because I think the whole company should talk about it more often.
Absolutely. Thanks for telling that story, Rolf. It's good to know that, and we do know that, but it's just good to get that reinforcement. Nick?
I just want to add a little support and guidance to new people, because I know that compliance is really important to me, and I've always loved it. And I know that I've reached out to people with significantly more years than me and been like, hey, awesome post. This little piece in there, you should take a look at, because it doesn't seem like it's quite on. Because, everybody, no matter how many years you have, you may be in the heat of the moment, you got emotion going, it's a great post, there's all sorts of awesome stuff, but there's one little piece in there that unravels the whole thing. So never be afraid, no matter how, new you are. If you're like, hey, this doesn't seem quite right, politely reach out to the person, private message them, and just explain what you're thinking about. I've never had a problem with someone when I've reached out to them, so. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you called us on something not too long ago.
I didn't. I wasn't gonna call you out, JoJo. But yeah,
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that you messaged me.
But I know I've sent you a message before.
Hey, I'm never perfect, man. I'm always just progressing. So it's good that you guys have my back too. Paul?
Yeah, just what Nick said. I did that as well. Somebody put up a post on one of the sites, and I messaged them, and I said, hey, that's not right. And I knew it wasn't, and I started a whole, a whole Donnybrook over it. And, this guy was, taking images of Isagenix flyers and saying, look, their brochures say it releases toxins right here. It's like, that's fine if the company says it, but if we're making that claim, it's two totally different things. And I mean, this thing went on, and I wouldn't let it go because I knew I was right.
You were. And I remember that. And we backed you up.
I got involved in that one too. I think I backed you up.
So, awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on. Thanks, Raf, for this great thought process of doing this, because I think it's something we don't talk about enough. So thank you for all your wisdom. Yeah.
Real quick. First 3 people I met when I joined Isagenix, and there was no video, anything like that. It was all phone calls, was JoJo, Vinny, and Rafael. So it's cool to see all you guys, everybody's still here.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys.
Oh, one more thing. Speaking of compliance, there is celebration coming up here in August. I know everybody on this call is going to celebration. On Tuesday, I believe. Tuesday, there's no, whatever day it is, I forget what schedule, there's no general session. It's just breakout sessions all day. Please get to the compliance breakout sessions. There'll probably be 2 or 3 of them. I know some of them, one JoJo and I went to, it's like nobody knew compliance was going on. There was a handful of people, but the next class, it was completely packed, and every other one was completely packed. So,
there's good prizes for answering questions.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So, awesome. So, know that Wednesday night we have our online virtual launch party. So, if you guys want to join in, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. The event is posted in events, and it's also posted on my personal page. It's posted in Rock Your Life. If anybody wants to join or you want to send somebody on, we do it in 20 minutes. We're in and out. We're done. It's a great overview. So if you want to invite anybody, and we want to start doing them weekly. And so to have everybody sort of support and bring their people on and be there to support whoever's presenting that week, that would be great. And we just do it as a Zoom, and it's a great platform, and it goes really quick. So, and I think that's all I can think of right now. But anyway, thank you guys. It was great to see all of your faces. Have an amazing night, everybody. Go rock your life.